Hey, good morning, guys. Hope you're doing well. So I've had a few folks email me, and Sharon's had folks email her trying to nail down their behavior and population. And I'm glad you guys are working hard on that. This is really the time where you need to make some decisions and get your focus set because now your assignments are starting to come due. So if you're still struggling with that, I wanted to give you a little bit advice. So remember this model from week 1, the health equity promotion model? This model is similar to pre-seed proceed that Sharon's going to go over this coming week. Whether you want to reference the model that Sharon is going to go over or whether you want to reference this one that we went over in week 1, they both are going to be similarly helpful. I like this one for selecting a priority population. And as a reminder, let me tell you why. Whether you're using this model or pre-seed proceed, you read it from right to left. So for this model, we begin on the right-hand side thinking about our health issue, right? We could also call this our quality of life concern. So if I am living with obesity, then that's going to affect my quality of life in some way, right? If I have undiagnosed or untreated severe mental health, that's going to affect my quality of life in some way. When you're trying to think about the behavior, you want to identify the most proximal, modifiable behavior to that health concern or quality of life issue, however you want to define it. So if I am thinking about obesity, then the question becomes, what behavior, if I am working with someone who is obese, what behavior, what is the most important modifiable behavior that that person can do to lose weight? What's the one thing that's going to make the biggest difference? Pick that behavior and you just figured out your behavior. Then, when you're thinking about your population, figure out, by looking at the epi literature, doing your lit review, which population or subpopulation in our society is most likely to be obese. Because they're not doing that behavior. And there's your population. Now, to further define that population, think about where they are in their life course. So the reasons for obesity among a 14-year-old are likely different than the reasons for obesity among a 76-year-old. And the types of activities that you can ask them to do, activities, i.e. behaviors that you can ask them to do, will likely differ depending on where they are in their life course, how much agency they have, how many other comorbid diagnoses they might have, etc. Right? You also have to think about social position, which sometimes we think about as intersectionality. So someone who is well resourced through social connections, through financial support, is going to have a very different way in which they can change their behavior than someone who is isolated or lacks financial resources, for example. And so when you think about your target population, this is how we tighten it up. If I want to think about reducing obesity among uninsured seniors who only have access to Medicare, and Medicare only covers certain things, and we know that they likely have limited income, that's going to be a very different intervention than if I'm trying to reduce obesity among a 13-year-old who perhaps also doesn't have their own resources, but their parents might. And so I could work within that family unit to target that 13-year-old, whereas that 76-year-old who's uninsured and living independently, perhaps the intervention would look very different. And the determinants of behavior look different. And that's important because some of you guys are getting caught up in the intervention and you're getting caught up in the determinants of the behavior. And we're going to go there starting next week. But for now, I don't care about your intervention, and I don't care about those determinants. For this week, I need you to nail down that population and the health concern, and then the most proximal behavior that is going to address that health concern among that priority population. That's it. That's all we want you to do this week. Next week, we're going to start adding to it. So, hope this helps. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you Monday.